Australian newsreel has long been a real force in the news-gathering field. It has won worldwide recognition. Cinesound now delves into its library to bring you news and entertainment features, necessarily very brief, of the past 40 years. Do you remember the day they opened the Sydney Harbour Bridge in 1932? Day is correct. First of all, a gentleman named de Groot opened it by strategy and got himself into some bother, as these scoop pictures reveal. He is being led off to the Bastille. Later, Premier John T. Lang again cut the ribbon, and everybody, with the possible exception of Mr. Lang, had a good time. Death rides this racing car at Penrith Speedway. 4 people died in that frightful accident, and this grim picture was used as evidence in the coroner's court. Great bowler Wiley Bill O'Reilly is out to capture the wicket of the greatest batsman. And he's done it. Bradman is out in a classic slow-motion leg before. A leaner and more youthful Jack Crawford, world champion tennis player, taking the court against Frenchman Jean Barotra and beating him. The mighty Farlap was off to America to win further fame in the Agua Caliente handicap, and Peter Pan had just won his second Melbourne Cup. The newsreel cameraman has to be there when news is made. His visual medium does not permit him to reconstruct the story afterwards. That was quite a fire. The great life of Sir Charles Kingsford Smith was drawing to its close, and so was that of Charles Ulm, his partner, seen with Captain Bill Taylor. Yes, we know, but there were no flies on Boy Charlton as a swimmer. He won Olympic honors for Australia. To jack things up a bit in the 30s, they staged a wrestle between a lady and a gentleman. Round about now, the gentleman is probably beginning to think that she's no lady. New Zealand's Gene Batten was winning fame in the air. And this gent from Manly was looking for a bit of mild diversion to break the monotony. Yes, they're real sharks, and they all have their own teeth. He swam with them just for a bet. Obviously, the cameraman was stuck for a thrill story. That's for him. Captain Philip Sirius is in Sydney Cove again, and the flag is unfurled on Australian soil. We celebrated 150 years of nationhood. Cinesound in those years consistently campaigned against the menace of soil erosion. Today, many states have ministries of soil conservation. They're trying to save the good earth. Ron Richards and Fred Henneberry were belaboring each other every now and then, and Ron won the championship after many so-called grudge fights. Then the whole life of the nation changed as we geared ourselves for sterner stuff. Great ships took the flower of our manhood away. The 6th Division swept through Cyrenaica, capturing Italians and Germans in tens of thousands. And the world will never forget the immortal rats of Tobruk and the men in the little ships who fed them. Japan strikes, and Australians face a new kind of warfare in Malaya. They knew victory, but the day was lost and Singapore fell. Australia was in grave danger. Like a flash came the news, MacArthur's here. History was made when an American general led an Australian army. The Kokoda Trail, where the victorious Japanese advance was first halted. The Australian army did not receive all the credit it unquestionably deserved for that epic fight. These are the late Damien Pereira's magnificently grim pictures, for which he and Cinesound received a special award of the American Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Japanese aircraft raining bombs on Darwin. Hundreds were killed. Damage was heavy. Soon after, they fished a couple of Japanese subs out of Sydney Harbour. And in the Riverina of New South Wales, drought took terrible toll. Wind erosion in the Victorian Mallee ruined hundreds of farms, and the evil has not yet been effectively dealt with. Scientists in the Commonwealth Serum Laboratories produced for the first time in Australia a drug which saved many lives. With the world aflame with war, a fiery tempest swept Gippsland, Victoria. Settlers' homes burn in the seething inferno. And in its wake are sad and homeless people. In the western districts of the same state, tragic bushfires took human life, burnt thousands of cattle and sheep, caused millions of pounds of damage. Damien Perra again, photographing the Battle of the Bismarck Sea, which finally settled Jap hopes of getting Australia. 1945, and General Yamashita, the tiger who captured Singapore, signs the surrender on the fall of Manila. Yamashita was hanged as a war criminal. And so to peace in a sorely troubled world. People celebrated the end of the war that was to end war, and despite previous experiences, hoped against hope. The so-called hell ship Yoizuki with Japanese crew is repatriating Korean prisoners of war. The Koreans did not want to go, not on the overcrowded Yoizuki anyway. These exclusive Cinesound pictures caused a sensation at the time. The government was severely criticized, and there were incidents some people considered un-Australian. It's 1930, and the late King George V is welcoming the Australian cricket team, including Woodfull, Bradman, and Alan Kippax. 1927, and their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of York, our late King George VI and present Queen Mother, arrive in Sydney. In Melbourne, the Duke lays a wreath of remembrance for the dead of World War I. Teddy, they called His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, here in 1920. What drama and history have surrounded his life since those debonair days? December 1919, and the first plane to fly from England to Australia. Sir Ross and Sir Keith Smith's giant, ungainly Vickers Beanie. In the center, the late W.N. Hughes with the crew. Sir Keith left, and the late Sir Ross. 1914, and Australians marched off to the other war that was to end all war. 1913, and they gathered by fast buggy for a great event. The Lancers were there too for the laying of the first foundation stone at Canberra. There's King O'Malley, father of Canberra. Matt Charlton in the background. The one and only William Morris Hughes. Senator Pearce with Prime Minister the late Andrew Fisher. They've done it! Back we go to 1911, when the late Billy Hart startled the natives by flying from Sydney to Parramatta. Go to it, boys! They're press photographers, no doubt trying to get a picture of the crash. Bill also startled the farmers' cows, for which he was duly fined a tenner. It's true. Ask a modern pilot to fly that thing. Now we're really back in the Corn Belt. 1908. The horseless carriage was a recent discovery, and the wolves of the day didn't have to fake a breakdown. Close the door, Richard. Dashing around the highways at a breathtaking 15 miles an hour. Pitt Street, Sydney in 1905. The horseless carriage is dashing across Market Street, and jaywalkers are dashing over almost everything. Well, the old town hasn't changed much. But by golly, the cops have. Neat set of threads he's got on there. Melburnians off to the cup. The bloke with the barrow was an optimist, or didn't they know about bookies in those days? What ho! Cynical Cedric about to have a lash on the old penny farthing. It's got four-wheel brakes, but they're all on Cedric. Sex Appeal, 1903 vintage. But cameramen, where have they gone? I'll be back. Ah, yes, the little baggages. Truly, them were the days. Drama out of the archives. Wilfred the Wolf is up to no good. Ah, me proud beauty. Take that and that. Relax, Wilfred. It's all in fun. He's gone to get his boyfriend, the sentimental bloke. Here, take an interest, bloke. This is serious. Well, Lady Violet's had it, and Wilfred, with a bitter sneer, is going to reform, I hope. Says the bloke, I dips me lid. Comedy out of the art. Jenny, the life and death of any party. Just a harum-scarum chit of a girl, and she's putting sneezing powder in the hairbrush. They hadn't thought of close-ups then, so she'll bring it up to the camera so you can see. That's a good girl. Now off you go, you wicked little scamp, you. Morning, Pop. You're in a bit of a spot, old boy. Mighty slick dresser is Pop. He's got to catch Coffin Co's 8:25. He'd have done it, too, only for that. Brass! Although the sky, this was a golden morning of our life. It was as though into brief hours were poured whole centuries of glory, splendor incomparable, and royal romance. The lovely head of the British Commonwealth was driving to be crowned queen. A radiantly beautiful young woman, so very happily a wife and mother. More than a fairy story was now brought to life, a queen in her own right, a handsome prince at her side, millions of subjects in whose hearts she reigns, all made this a day that will stand out as long as Britain's history is told. The favourite in all the processions but Her Majesty's own was that delightful, very friendly ruler, Queen Charlotte of Tonga. The dusky 6'3" beauty took London to her heart. London returned the compliment. But now an older favourite roused the cheers, in full dress uniform as Lord Warden of the Cinque Ports, Sir Winston Churchill. At last the Queen's procession came to the Abbey, that link between church and state for near 1,000 years. The Earl Marshal, the Duke of Norfolk, received Her Majesty, and escorted her into the annex of the venerable building in which so many sovereigns of England have been crowned. At the chair of estate, the Queen knelt in humble prayer near the altar whereon the coronation regalia lay. The moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland presented Her Majesty with the Holy Bible, symbol of heavenly authority far above earthly princes. The little Duke of Cornwall was in the Abbey in time to see the ceremony of anointing, at which 4 knights of the Garter carried the pall of cloth of gold, beneath which the Archbishop performed the holy rite. Then Her Majesty was invested with the imperial robe in preparation for the crowning. The Archbishop presented a sword to his sovereign, enjoining her to do justice and stop the growth of iniquity. The Dean of Westminster and the Mistress of the Robes put upon the Queen the robe royal and the stole royal, the vestments of righteousness and salvation. His Grace delivered the royal scepter, then sign of kingly power and justice. Next, the rod of equity and mercy. From the Dean, the Archbishop received the St. Edward's crown, worn by sovereigns of this realm once only at their coronation. From King Edward's chair, Her Majesty was slowly conducted towards the throne, a crowned queen. The Archbishop pronounced the exhortation, bidding the Queen stand firm and hold fast the state of royal and imperial dignity. Her Majesty then received the homage of princes and peers, led by the Archbishop himself.
saw his father pronounce the words of homage, the Duke undertaking to be the Queen's liege man of life and limb, to bear unto her faith and truth, to live and die against all manner of foes. The service was over. In the procession to the west door, Field Marshal Montgomery carried the royal standard. Followed by Sir Winston Churchill walked the Prime Ministers of the Dominions. Throughout the long service, Her Majesty truly bore herself like a queen. Despite the wet and cold, the procession back to the palace was a triumphal progress. Along the 5-mile route, millions of enthusiastic people really let themselves go as the Queen went by. In the state coach, Her Majesty wore the imperial crown and carried the orb and scepter. From Trafalgar Square, the state coach again passed through Admiralty Arch about 6 hours after it had gone beneath it on the outward journey. Now the Crown Queen was returning to her palace, where a vast royal throng acclaimed her. Long, long indeed may she reign.
Sydney, Princess of the Pacific, awaits her queen. Throughout the night, a myriad lights illuminate the streets in the most spectacular display in the city's history. Spectators keep a night-long vigil, thousands taking up picked positions many hours before the queen is due to pass by. So they wait, enduring discomfort in happy anticipation of the great day. Then morning, and the Royal Yacht Gothic steams toward Sydney Head, shepherded by units of the Royal Australian Navy and Air Force. Her Majesty is following the course of Pathfinder Captain Phillips, who 166 years ago entered Port Jackson with the First Fleet. sunshine and clear blue skies. Eager throngs crowd vantage points at the harbor entrance to welcome the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh to Australia. The Gothic is a welcome visitor indeed, as she makes her way majestically up the harbor. Today, these historic waters are crammed with craft of every description as Sydney-siders turn out to greet their Queen. Transferring to the royal barge, Her Majesty is borne swiftly towards Farm Cove, through a laneway of yachts and small boats, proudly dressed for the occasion. The gleaming barge is brought with naval precision to the landing pontoon. Now the Queen is greeted by the Governor-General, Sir William Slim, State Governor Sir John Northcote, Prime Minister Menzies, Premier Carl, service chiefs, and members of Parliament. It is significant that Her Majesty should first set foot on Australian soil at the very place where Governor Phillip landed and founded this nation. Her Majesty inspects the Guard of Honor from the Royal Australian Navy. After the inspection, the Queen replies to the address of welcome.
My Lord Mayor, I thank you and your aldermen most sincerely for the welcome you have given me and my husband on behalf of the citizens of Sydney. I would like to take this opportunity of telling you how delighted we both were by the spectacular greeting given to us this morning by the yachtsmen in the harbour and by the citizens on shore. I have always looked forward to my first visit to this country, but now there is the added satisfaction to me that I am able to meet my Australian people as their Queen. So this morning, as the Gothic moved up to the great expanse of this magnificent harbour, and I saw before me the city of Sydney, I was filled with a sense of pride and expectation. Standing at last on Australian soil, on this spot that is the birthplace of the nation, I want to tell you all how happy I am to be amongst you and how much I look forward to my journey to Australia.
A final word with Lord Mayor Alderman Hills, and the Queen and the Duke enter their car to begin the royal progress towards a city tingling with anticipation. Never before have there been such demonstrations of loyalty, such outbursts of spontaneous affection. The Queen's escort of mounted police is much admired as it leads the cavalcade through the city. Our cameraman snaps a happy picture of this fairy Queen, who has, it seems, come magically amongst us. Under decorative arches, through streets bright with banners, the royal car wends its triumphal way. The royal couple alight and walk to the cenotaph in Martin Place and lay a wreath as a mark of their respect to the fallen of 2 world wars. The Queen will reside at Government House, the stately old mansion overlooking Sydney Harbor. Accompanied by Police Commissioner Delaney, Her Majesty, a lover of horses, makes an inspection of the mounted police who have escorted her so gallantly. Darkness brings no end to the gaiety, as a harborside fireworks display gloriously symbolizes the fervent warmth of our welcome to Elizabeth, our gracious and lovely Queen. Elizabeth II arrives to open the New South Wales State Parliament. She is met by the President of the Legislative Council, Mr. Dixon. Wearing a magnificent gown with the ribbon of the Order of the Garter, the Queen is a figure of dazzling grace and beauty. Members of Parliament move into the House for this most auspicious occasion. With dignity, Her Majesty addresses the hushed council chamber in this, the mother of Australian Parliament.
I'm very pleased that I am able to speak to you in person on the occasion of the opening of the third session of the 37th Parliament of the State of New South Wales.
Now, Queen Elizabeth thanks the people of New South Wales for their welcome.
I desire to express my appreciation to you and through you as their representative to all the people of this great state. I look forward with pleasure to the rest of my stay in Australia.
Parliament will long remember this ceremony, the first in which a reigning monarch took part. Another royal engagement is a review of ex-servicemen and women in Hyde Park. At the Pool of Remembrance, Her Majesty and the Duke of Edinburgh drive past bemedaled veterans of the Boer War, 2 World Wars, and the Korean campaign. Escorted by the state president of the Returned Servicemen's League, Mr. Yeo, the royal couple receive a thunderous welcome. Children of fallen servicemen who are wards of legacy watch, whilst their tiny representative presents a bouquet and makes her unsteady but determined curtsy to royalty. It went so well, she does it again. They meet Australian heroes when 7 winners of the Victoria Cross are presented in this inspiring ceremony. Later, at 3 marshalling centers, 120,000 schoolchildren give the Queen and the Duke their own special welcome. A sea of small faces, a forest of fluttering hands, as kiddies from all over Sydney unloose their pent-up emotions. This is the youngsters' big day, and they enjoy it to the full. The royal couple, parents themselves, are happy to get so close to our children. Education authorities are presented during this noisy but moving demonstration of loyalty and affection. In contrast, the state banquet is a brilliant setting for our radiant sovereign. Escorted by Premier Karl, the Queen is resplendent in a pale yellow gown with an appliqué wattle design, crowned by a dazzling tiara of diamonds. 1,000 distinguished guests give Her Majesty a warm ovation as she rises to respond to the Premier's address.
Of a journey which will take me from one side of this continent to the other. It is my earnest hope that during the few months of my visit, I shall get to know you well and learn something of your achievements and your problems. I look forward with keen anticipation to my visits to your great cities, to learning something of your ever-growing industry, and to seeing those vast expanses of the great outback, the countryside with its sheep in millions, the cattle, the wide wheatlands, and the thriving country towns. I thank you again, Mr. Premier, for your long and kind words, and you, Mr. Pitt, and all you who are gathered here, for the warmth and sincerity of your welcome.
Randwick Racecourse in carnival mood is a gay setting for another happy occasion when the Queen and Duke attend their first sporting event in Australia. AJC President Potter accompanies the Queen, and for the first time the Royal Standard is flown at Randwick. The Queen Elizabeth Stakes is the main race in today's program. A good start, and outsider Blue Ocean on the rails goes to the lead. Favorites Karaoke and Hydrogen are well back in the field. A keen racegoer, the Queen watches intently as Blue Ocean, leading all the way, goes on to win and set a new course record. Blue Ocean is nervous as he receives his blue ribbon, but for his owners, his trainer and jockey, this is a proud and happy day. Sun, sea, and sand at Bondi, where the Queen attends her first surf carnival, a display of its kind unequaled in the world. The royal car drives near to the water's edge for a close view as surfboard riders battle the breakers. "40,000 people share the thrills of the carnival with Her Majesty, who is attended by the President of the Surf Life-Saving Association, Judge Adrian Curlewis. Highlight of smoothly organized beach events is a spectacular march past of life-saving teams drawn from all over Australia and New Zealand. The Queen is very interested as another monarch, King Neptune, turns on the works for his royal visitors. The Duke obviously agrees that this is an ideal spectator's day, with surfboat crews pitting their strength and skill against heavy seas. Today's thrilling display will surely live long in the memories of our royal visitors.
Sydney, the time is 8 o'clock, and we present the Eno program, Ask Me Another. Do you know? Say no. When you feel low, say no. It's mild and gentle and good to escape you. Please stand on. Yes, it's your favorite Tuesday night show with the panel of experts. And to confuse them generally, here is your favorite compere, my favorite compere, and Jack Davies' favorite compere, Jack Davies. Hi-ho, everybody! Welcome to an eyeful and an earful of the Eno Show. Go on, get talking and breaking. I promise to tell you no lies. No matter what the topic is, I'll help you walk right. Be it animal or vegetable or mineral. Go on, just ask me another. There's 20 questions there for you. Give me any old query, and I'll upset your feelings. Ask me another one, do, please do. Ask me another one. Meet
The panel of experts, for people who know how to play this game of animal, vegetable, and mineral, backwards. Cast an eye on Betty Riddell, looking as charming as ever. Dapper Dan Russell, who says little and thinks a lot. Willowy and wistful, that lady from Paris, Linda Lorraine. And Keith Smith, who talks to the children, but makes sense to the grown-ups. Well, our first subject for tonight is Mineral Panel, and it comes from Mrs. M. Parkinson of Cottesloe, Western Australia. There it is. You got the general idea. Let's go. Right, Dan?
Mineral is the mineral metallic.
It's definitely metallic.
Is it connected to a human being?
Not connected to a human being. Well, it is some of the time, but that's vague.
Has it been made up into anything?
It's been made up into something. Yes, it has.
Is this a very active thing?
No, it's not active. It's impassive. But there are times when it becomes active to let certain action happen.
Is it mechanical?
Well, it's not mechanical in as much as it is. It's inanimate. It has to be, something has to be done. You've got to pull it.
Do we use it for everything?
Every day. Well, most people every day. I'm only talking for myself.
Does it have 4 wheels?
4 wheels, no wheels at all.
Is that a beer pump, is it?
A beer pump. That's a guess.
Is it anything to do with getting out of the house in the morning clean?
Yes, it is. It is. It's imperative.
Is it a shower or something?
It's not a shower.
Vacuum cleaner.
Not a vacuum. Since when do you do yourself up with a vacuum? It's amazing.
Is it more related to women than to men?
No, both men and women, but never together.
Oh, could it be called a household gadget?
It's a household gadget, yes.
It's an alarm, it says.
It's not an alarm clock. It's a necessary thing, and it's metallic.
Well, it's in the kitchen.
No, it's not in the kitchen.
In bedroom.
Not in the bedroom.
In the bathroom.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Is it got the vague shape of a chain?
It's got the exact shape of a chain.
That's the exact shape of a chain.
Exact shape of a chain.
Well, it's a bath plug chain.
Now you're talking. That's That's a 20 questions exactly, so Captain Ward is on his way to Mrs. M. Parkinson of Cottesloe, Western Australia, and a presentation package of Eno's fruit salt. Lucky lady, Mrs. Parkinson.
No day can start off perfectly without that happy dose of Eno. Just a little teaspoonful in a tumbler of warm or cold water makes a drink that brings you sparkling health and that feeling of well-being. Here's just one of the many with that woeful early morning gaze into the mirror. A horrible view of that night before feeling, through a dinner that went too well or a party that went too long. The mirror doesn't lie. It's what lies behind the mirror that counts. Eno, of course, the surefire way of getting back on the track. Any time of the day is a good time for Eno, but for that early morning lift,
You know, when you feel alone, it's mild and gentle and good to its places, east and Subject number 2 for tonight was sent in by Mr. J. Griffin of Lane Cove, New South Wales, and its abstract panel. And a very nice subject it is. Go ahead and ask me. I'll give you a little help. Just look at me, that's all you need. Yes, Dan?
Abstract related to a female human.
A female human. Do I stand this way as a rule? But you're right, it is. It is. It is something to do with a female human.
Only with a female human?
Well, I'm the fuzzy type. Only with a female human.
Is it a saying, something like sharp as a tack or bright as a button, something like that?
No, it's not that Keith, no.
Are you preparing to make an impression on somebody?
No, I have made an impression on somebody. They think I'm colossal.
Have you gone as far as to marry them?
Oh, no, never that far, no. I just think this thing's sort of easy.
Have you gone as far as to ask them?
No, I haven't asked them a thing. I haven't asked them a thing. I am just here. I am eligible. I'm not the only one. In fact, I don't think I'd be so good. I probably wouldn't be asked for. There are millions of others.
You aren't in the question.
No, I'm not. Well, I tell you what I'll do. I'll be a stand-in if anybody else is too busy.
Is it a date of some kind? Are you waiting?
No, it's not a date. I've waited for years. I've waited for years, Dan.
Does it deal with anticipation?
Not on my part.
Does the word bachelor come into this?
The bachelor, no, not at all.
It is related to some arrangement between the sexes, not necessarily a date, but...
Well, yes, I mean, yes, you've got to have the two sexes. But there's only one sex concerned. And it's that's what we're looking for.
It's a woman waiting.
She's waiting. She's been waiting a long time for this particular thing. And this thing is well, what is it?
The man under the bed.
Well, you know, that's almost right. That's almost right, but it's not quite right. Yes, Betty.
Are you somebody's pin-up boy?
Well, you're getting on. That's somewhere pretty near it.
Is it a long-expectant spinster?
Well, it is. No, not necessarily. She can be young, she can be so-and-so, but it's something that you say, oh, goodness, he is.
The ideal man.
Ideal man.
That's very close, but it's not quite right. You're very close.
Does man
Prince Charming.
No, man doesn't come in at all.
Prince Charming.
Prince Charming, I'm afraid not.
The old maid's dream.
The old maid's dream? Oh, and you're so close, and that was 20 questions there goes the gong. No, you were looking for the personal answer to a maiden's prayer. Oh. Give them a hand, they really tried. And the last subject for tonight, Miss Hilary Osborne of Theberton, South Australia, would like the panel to find her subject is animal, mineral, and vegetable. Well, you're getting off to a good start. I don't know how I can help you in this at all, but I don't think I need to, right? What do you say, Dan?
Animal, vegetable, mineral.
It's all mixed up, yes.
All mixed up.
Yes. Oh, you can tell pieces from pieces, you know, but I mean, it's generally all there together.
And do I dare stay or
Oh, no, they're not there to stay. No, they
Can we eat it?
eat them. Well, not in this country.
It is found around the home.
Found around the home, eventually.
Are the animals four-legged animals?
Ah, well, now, no, not 4 legs.
They've got 2 legs.
2 legs, yes, they got 2 legs.
Are they human?
Human, yes.
Are they alive?
Oh, very alive.
And has some action relating the human to the animal and to the vegetable minerals?
No, there's no action. Well, there's a lot of action, and there's a lot of subsidiary action, and there's a lot of this, and there's a lot of that, and there's a bit of this, and there's a bit of that, and a fair amount of that. But there's no action other than that. But you see, we're looking for a conglomerate something. You're only looking for something that's putting you on the track.
Is the person a woman?
Is the person a woman? Well, a woman who's connected with this, I couldn't possibly tell a lie about that. And it happens just the same in France.
But does this action take place within the intimacy of the home?
Well, wait a minute now. I beg your pardon? Well, no, but it's there. I mean, well, look, it's there and we're stuck with it. How it got there, we're not concerned, but this is very necessary because, Betty asked me something.
Are the children in this?
Children in it?
Yes.
2 years. Hardly children.
What are they? Are they teenagers?
Oh, no. No. Way before that.
Babies?
Babies. Yes.
They're very young.
Don't look so wistful.
And it's in the home proper?
No, not in the home at all.
The application of the eternal triangle to a baby.
You mean putting a napkin on?
Yes.
Some of that goes on, every now and again.
Are they in the ward at the hospital?
You're getting very close. What are we looking for?
A newborn baby.
A newborn baby. We're looking for a lot of them.
The baby ward at the hospital.
No, what do you call it?
The nursery.
The nursery.
Great.
The
Hey,
maternity.
Doctor, you're a single girl. You were right, too, or what?
The maternity.
Maternity hospital. You got there just one question too late. Give them a hand. That really was a try. Well, that's all of our another for tonight. Our prize money goes to Mr. J. Griffin of Lane Cove, New South Wales, for your answer to a maiden's prayer, and Miss Hilary Osborne of Theberton, South Australia, for your maternity ward. On behalf of Joan Scow, David Lowe, Betty Riddell, Keith Smith, Linda Lorraine, and Dan Russell, this is Jack Davies saying good night and thanks for looking.
Goodbye, no question, and when another show is due, give me any your query, and I'll upset your theory. Ask me another one, do, please do. Ask me another one, do.
Meet Andy Man the Handyman. In this film, he will give demonstrations of how to fix it, or perhaps I should say, how not to fix it. She's heading straight for trouble, and Andy's heading straight for the ground. Drip, drip, drip. A leaky tap. Another drip comes into the picture to fix it. He figures why go to the trouble and expense of getting a plumber. Anyone can mend a leaky tap. All that is needed is a spanner and a new washer. Hey, you forgot to turn the water off. What a man. Ah, whitewash. And will you take a look at those legs? Andy is now going to paint the house. Something tells me he's heading for danger. And there it is. Somebody ought to tell him. He gets into more trouble than 20 others. That's why we use him in these pictures. But that doesn't deter him at all. He's back on the job and has even managed to find an assistant. But with a woman on the job, what could you expect but more trouble? Mending a blocked drain pipe. Here again we can dispense with the plumber. Simply undo the drain plug and remove the cause of the blockage. No skill is required for this job, only a little patience. Sometimes the cause of the blockage may be difficult to remove, but if we persevere, the water will eventually flow freely. Now Andy relaxes to demonstrate the self-emptying ashtray. Simply flick the ash into the tray and it falls through the bottom. This saves the bother of emptying after use. We've all had trouble sometime or other with a wobbly chair. This is easily rectified by reducing the length of the longest leg. Care should be taken not to cut off too much, as this leaves the chair still wobbly. We then have to saw off a small section of the next leg. Judging the required amount to cut off can become quite a problem, and we may find the leg so reduced in length that the chair is of no further use. Tires always seem to need air, and Andy gives this one the works. Boy, can he pump. Hey, what goes on here? Andy's somewhat dazed by this display, but anyway, that finishes the tire, so he now goes to work on the motor. When making adjustments to the motor, it is always advisable to use the crank handle instead of the self-starter. This serves a dual purpose. Firstly, it saves the battery from being flattened, and secondly, it is good exercise. However, do not overdo the cranking, as it may leave you somewhat crank-happy. To keep down the weekly budget, Andy does all the shoe repairs for the family. In the hot weather, this job may sometimes be unpleasant, but this is easily overcome with the aid of a nose peg. To mend a loose heel, drive a few nails through the inner sole into the top of the heel. The garden hose needs attention, but when attempting to fix the nozzle, always turn the water off first. Andy seems to do things the wrong way, so anything is likely to happen, and it won't be long now. Wash day is always a busy day, and as usual, our hero is on the job. Don't be a dill, Andy. It's not as easy as it looks. Here's more trouble for sure. Andy's so pleased with his electric mower. So easy, so automatic, it even guides itself. Hanging the new picture on the wall, you all think he's going to hit his thumb. You are quite right. He does. It's modern art, and what a picture. Nobody could puzzle out which way this is supposed to go. Hang it anyway, Andy. No one will know the difference. Andy's had the cleaner apart. It's all together again except for a few leftover bits which probably weren't of much use anyway. All set for the tryout. The same old gag. He's going to sweep it under the mat. You see, Andy, it isn't done. Put it in your pocket. After gathering together the necessary ingredients and implements required to bake a cake, Andy will now give a special demonstration for the ladies in the audience. He decides a big cake is no more trouble to make than a small one. So, puts a liberal amount of flour into the dish. Then the water is poured in and the mixture is stirred. This is to be a treacle cake, so now the treacle is added to the horrible mess. As actions speak louder than words, we now ask you to observe Andy closely as he adds the other ingredients. Now for a little snack between jobs. And there's nothing better than a meat sandwich with mustard. Boy, does he like mustard. Look at him slather it on. Wow, is that mustard hot stuff. But Andy's determined to have his little snack. He's now going to try a new brand of tinned fish soup, guaranteed by the manufacturers to contain only genuine fish ingredients. The ingredients are genuine, all right. This fish soup is certainly the real thing. After cleaning up that mess, he's still looking for something to fix. He can sure take punishment. With Andy fooling around with electricity, anything is likely to happen. Hey, that plug's alive. What did I tell you? Andy definitely did not bake this cake. She's proud of it, too. It's a beaut. It's been a busy day, and after this, I'd say Andy has definitely had it.
Boys and girls, oh boy, did we have a lot of excitement at our house last Christmas Eve. Boy, everybody was getting ready for the visit of Santa Claus. And Buffalo Bob was trimming the Christmas tree. And he was just hanging on the last decoration. Strings of fresh buttered popcorn. And Clarabelle the clown, he was helping trim the tree too. Hanging up my stocking. What are you doing there, Howdy? Oh, finished, Buffalo Bob. Boy, I sure hope Santa Claus fills my stocking with presents. Clarabelle, do you want to hang up your stocking now?
Oh, what a silly clown. Well, you'll find out if you're getting your bicycle pretty soon now, because it's almost midnight, and Santa will be here any minute now. It's 12 o'clock. Come on, we've all got to hide so that Santa Claus doesn't see us. Come on, Dad. 6, 7, 8. Hurry and hide, Clarabelle. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Well, that's funny. Would Santa Claus be coming down the chimney at midnight? Clarabelle. Gee, Buffalo Bob, what do you think happened to Santa Claus? Well, Hobby, there's only one way to find out. Well, what's that, Buffalo Bob? Let's go to the North Pole and see what happened to Santa Claus. You mean right up to Santa's workshop? That's just what I mean. We'll take the Rockadoodle and we'll be up there in a jiffy. Come on, Clarabelle, you come too. Stop snowing, we'll have a great flight. North Pole, here we come. You're not Santa Claus. You're a bandit. Here, you see? Let me show you. There, see?
But I tell you, I'm not the bandit. I'm Santa Claus.
Yeah, go on. The newspaper says that the bandit has a beard. Well, you got a beard. And I happen to be a good man, see? And I happen to be smart. And I know, therefore, that you are the bandit. What's that? Oh, see, I'll bet that's your whole gang. Well, Ugly Sam is going to hide, see? And I'm going to capture the entire gang single-handed.
Hey, look, there's Santa's workshop right at the North Pole. Come on, fasten your seatbelts, everybody. We're coming in for a landing. Ah! For you. All right. Well, here we are at the North Pole. Now to find Santa Claus. You bandit gang! Hey, away we go! Run, Clarabelle, run, run! Run! Go on, get him! I'll get
Oh, stop, everybody, stop! Over here on the tail! Where is my and where's my lunch? Oh, I'll get you out, Santa. Hey, Charles! Oh, no! Let him in! Yeah, give up! Ugly Sam never gives up to a bandit! Ugly Sam! Buffalo Bob! What? Sam! Oh. Ugly Sam! Oh. What are you doing here? Me? Oh! Why, I just captured the bearded bandit. Bearded bandit escaped.
I'm not the bandit, I'm Santa Claus.
Santa Claus! Yes, Sam, he's Santa Claus. I captured the bandit. And away I go to kill him. Oh, no, I'll be a fan. I'll go. Oh, wait. I know what, Ugly Sam. What do you want for Christmas? I want a mirror so I can look at my beautiful ugly face.
Here you are, Ugly Sam, and a Merry Christmas.
What? Oh, how beautiful. Buffalo Bob, this ain't the bandit. This is Santa Claus.
Oh, 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 oh.
Well, it was nip and tuck, but everything worked out fine. Santa Claus got there in time to bring toys to all the boys and girls. Yes, everything turned out happy and bright. So, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Tell me the tales that to me were so dear, long, long ago, long, long ago, long, long ago, long ago.
We haven't got the food and we haven't got a cent. It's weeks and weeks since we paid the rent. Now I'm hungry, I like a little cake.
Now look at me, I'm not your day. I once had some hay, but I ate it all up.
I ain't been up nice.
What'll we do now?
I've got an idea. We'll sell the cow.
He's got an idea, he's got a cow. Sell the cow, sell the cow. Who, me? Oh, well, I can take it. He can take it, he can take it.
Look at the pretty beans. I'll trade them for your cow. You sold our cow because we beat. Get to bed, you crazy bastard. I get mad and not too fast. Good night, Father dear. Boy.
I like little boys.
Beep, I bum, bum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Bring me my money back, my harp in my hand.
He was